Hi everyone, or as they say down under, g'day mate. Now isn't that a friendly expression? It's Carol McLeod from Bucket Fillers. And I've written the newsletter below to tell you about an exciting trip that I just returned from with my husband Jack. And I want to use the video from today to sort of demonstrate and show you how your bucket actually works. Now I think most of you know that our bucket represents our mental and our emotional health. So the mental health part of it is our thoughts. So when your bucket is full, it is full of lots of good thoughts. Like, oh, we're going on this exciting trip. I can't wait to get there. I'm so lucky to be able to do this. I'm so happy. And those are good feelings. So when our bucket's full, it's full of lots of good thoughts and lots of happy feelings. But many things affect our bucket levels, and I'm going to use the example of our trip just to kind of give you a little inkling into it. So the first thing that affects our bucket level is other people and their words and their actions. So on our wonderful trip to Australia, it was wonderful because we met so many spectacular people. It actually began not just on the airlines, who were fabulous to us, but it began when we arrived into the beautiful city of Sydney, and that was because of our friend Pintu Sidhu, who is our Australian book distributor. And on the very first day that we were there, he actually took us out on a harbor cruise around Sydney. And I have to tell you, he put more than one heart or star in our bucket. He basically pretty much filled up our bucket that day. But here's what else he did. He actually arranged for us to visit 3 schools in the Sydney area and meet the teachers and the students, do a book reading, and actually some assemblies, just for the pure pleasure of doing that and seeing what is being done in Australia in some of the schools there that have been using our bucket filling books for more than 5 years. That totally filled our bucket. And then he took us to a teacher store, and that filled our bucket because they've been selling our books in Australia, and honestly I had no idea to what extent it had already gone about. The bucket filling concept spread throughout Australia. So thank you, Pintu, for filling our bucket. But it was so many more people. It was Heather on the ship and Jessica, her daughter, who was familiar with our concept. And it was Dave, and it was Stuart, and it was Colette, and it was, oh my gosh, Debbie, and it was Megan and her husband, and just so many people that we met along the way that filled our bucket so much. So other people fill our bucket, and of course other people can also dip into our bucket. But our bucket was truly filled by the wonderful people that we met on our trip. Now the second thing that either can fill or dip into your bucket is basically the environment or outside circumstances, such as the weather. And on our trip, our weather was beautiful. So that certainly did affect our bucket level. But it's also the things that happen. Our flights were on time, our shuttles, our tours, and actually it was amazing how wonderfully things went. The one thing that actually dipped into our bucket a little bit was that we had a couple of delays along the way. Nothing major, but we had to deal with it. And as you problem solve those kinds of things, actually it fills your bucket back up again. And then also my husband picked up a bit of a bug while we were on our last days in Australia, and we had to cancel one of our trips because of that. And he wasn't feeling all that best as we headed back to the States. And actually that did dip into our bucket, but it wasn't that serious, and we were able to handle it. And we were thankful for that. And the third thing that affects our bucket level is actually our own thoughts and our own words and actions. And I have to say, problem solving what didn't go right, but being grateful for all that we had and all that we were enjoying totally filled our bucket. So a lot of it has to do with our own mindset and our own idea about what we're going through. And gratefulness definitely fills our bucket. So there's our little bucket lesson for the day. Thank you for listening. We'll see you again next month. Bye for now.